Boring, high-octane affair between the Saints and the Chargers. A paint-swapping game in Pittsburgh, as expected, as two 5-1 teams, the Giants and Steelers, met in Heinz Field. Do not miss the highlights of that game coming up. And no Tom Brady, no big whoops so far for the New England Patriots. No Brady, but they're 5-2 and tied atop the AFC East, halfway through the National Football League regular season in 2008. And welcome to NFL Game Day. So pleased that you can be with us. Rich Eisen along with Steve Mariucci and Deion Sanders. Week 8, guys. No Sunday night affair. So we're deciding to make it a 2-hour.
2 hours?
NFL Game Day. You ready?
I got 2 hours with my moochie.
Let's go for 3 here. Why don't we?
120 minutes of action. Let's get started right now with this game in Dallas. The Buccaneers coming in against Wade Phillips' Cowboys that had been swooning, and now Jeff on a defense that's been beat up on the field and in the media. And Garcia was solid between the 20s, guys. He finds Michael Clayton inside the red zone, but Tampa Bay couldn't find the end zone. Could not find the end zone. We call it prime out here on just a plain old first down play. Why?
Yeah, plain old first down. Why? Because you got to get T.O. the ball, like Coach reiterates every week. But you throw T.O. the ball in a cover 2 where the corner is rolled up. Bad play. Brad Johnson should have checked out of that play.
Now let's go to this particular drive. End of the first half when the Buccaneers began to shoot themselves in the foot. Up 6-3 Tampa. And that's a horse collar penalty on Rondé Barber on 3rd and 12 to keep the drive alive.
It was invented in Dallas, wasn't it?
3rd and 3 plays later. Well, here's another Roy Williams, the active one on Dallas. That's a catch by Williams, but a pass interference penalty on Phillip Buchanan arrived a hair too early on 3rd and 5. Fresh set of downs. Next play, 24 seconds to go. Brad Johnson was struggling for much of the day, and then they would be bailed out with penalties by Tampa Bay. That was an illegal contact penalty on Aqib Talib on that play. So it's a new first down, 3rd penalty of the drive for John Gruden's defense. 2 plays later, Johnson to Patrick Creighton, 13 yards, and you watch Cato June come into your picture and bash one big offensive lineman, Mark Colombo, right there. That's another 15 yards, or half the distance to the goal. 4 of the Buccaneers' 7 penalties on this drive. And then the next play, you've got a 3-inch difference between Roy Williams and Phillip Buchanan. Throw it up.
Back shoulder throw to the big guy, Roy E. Williams, for the touchdown.
Yeah.
You don't have to say E. Coach, the other Roy Williams is out for the season.
So Roy's giving away footballs.
There's
now.
one Roy.
So now the Cowboys are up 10-6. First time Buccaneers have been trailing at halftime in a game. 3rd quarter, Johnson finds Terrell Owens for a gain of 12. Next play, midway through the 3rd quarter, Marion Barber getting the handoff and a first down. Barber, 25 rushes, 71 yards, led to a Nick Folk field goal. So it's a touchdown lead for Dallas, 13-6. Next possession for Tampa. Garcia on 3rd and 2, dancing around in the pocket as only he can to find Alex Smith for a gain of 35.
That's what he does best. He moves in the pocket, he remains a passer, he finds the open receiver.
3 plays later, it's 3rd and 11. Garcia, again, can't get the first down inside the red zone. Ernest Graham corralled by Kevin Burnett, and Alan Ball, who I believe also created 6 feet under, interestingly enough, led to a field goal. 13-9 is the score. Last possession of the game for Tampa Bay. 13-9 still. 4th and inches from the 35, their own 35, and go for it. And Ernest Graham from
Fort Myers
picks up the first down. 4 plays later, it's 3rd and 3. Wade Phillips is sure. Well, he's raising his hands because he's sure.
Like, I got it. I'm more involved this week. We're going to stop him.
Now Garcia to Jeremy Stevens, though. Move the chains with a minute 24 to go. 47 seconds left. Nail-biting time for Jerry Jones. It's 4th and 4. Last chance for Tampa. Pick up the first down. Hilliard, gain of 6. 19 seconds left in the game. 16th play of the final drive. Another 4th down for Garcia. 19 ticks ago. Looks for Jeremy Stevens again. This one's incomplete. And the Cowboys, despite gaining only 172 total yards, gets the much-needed Week 8 victory by the final of 13-9. Wade Phillips, as you mentioned, Deion, in the highlight, was more involved in the defense, and the defense responded, posting season lows in several categories. The 172 yards of total offense I mentioned by the Cowboys, the fewest total in a winning effort in franchise history, but there's no pictures in the standings, in which Dallas currently stands at 5-3.
Well, I mean, it was an important game for us. We knew that. It was a, you know, somebody asked me if it was a must game. I think all of them are must games, you know, at this point. You got to get some in the bank early. I think everybody knows after the bye that we're going to be a lot stronger, but you know, we got to get to the bye and try to win some games here, and that's what we did this week, and we're going to try to do the same next week.
Right now, you know, Brad's our quarterback for one more week, and then we got the bye, and then, you know, then we go from there. Obviously, I think it was great for Roy to get his first touchdown, and obviously present another a weapon on the other side of the ball. So I think once we get this other game out of the way, and then the bye, then I think we'll be explosive as we need to be.
I had a great week of practice, and just, you know, jacked up to playing a game at home, playing against a former team of mine, and so it was very emotional.
Well, Terrell Owens mentioned getting this other game out of the way. It's only at the Giants next week
other
before
game.
the bye week. And Brad Johnson looked jittery again. I mean, well, jittery is probably the wrong word. Rusty, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so the offense, Terrell Owens finally led the Cowboys in receiving a game. First time this year, only 33 yards. Mm-hmm. The defense, though, looked a lot tighter, would you not say, Deion Sanders? How do you assess the Cowboys right now?
Still off balance, especially offensively. 3 for 15 on third downs, and that's unbelievable. Only average 2.7 yards per carry rushing, with Barber with 25 carries. That's not good at all. We thought this going into the season, this was one of the best offensive linemen in the game. One of the largest, but best. But they're getting their butts kicked. Flozo Adams is getting his butt kicked out there on the left tackle, the right tackle, Colombo. These guys on the right side, they're not playing well at all. I can't place the blame in totality on Brad Johnson because he's not getting time to throw the ball. We can't get T.O. Bad play calling as well. But defensively, I like what Wade did. He said, I'm only known for defense. So my defense is shot, that means I'm shot, so I'm going to get involved. I like that.
Well, when your offense is out of whack like they are right now, as you mentioned, you got to win on defense, which they did today. The Tampa Bay with Jeff Garcia, that Tampa Bay offense can score some points when they need to. Wade Phillips was brought there to Dallas to continue that 3-4 defense. Well, he knows it well, but when you go a coordinator to a head coach, sometimes you lose touch of that. You're not in that meeting room every single time installing the defense, making the calls on game day. He's doing that now. He needs to do that because that's his forte.
Right.
He's the expert at that, not another coordinator that he's brought up and he's training. Wade, you got to stay with the defense because that's what you do best.
But wasn't it the case that he was able to come away from that because they were scoring so many points on offense so that he could give a lot of responsibility to Mr. Stewart on defense, but now they're not scoring any points? The defense is vital.
Yeah, I found that happens with coaches. You bring them from say a position coach to a coordinator, and all of a sudden that position is not getting coached as well as it used to be because that guy was great at it, and now he's got a broader responsibility, a more broad responsibility. That you have to keep that in check when you move people up so they don't lose touch with that former position or responsibility.
And on offense, an injury that we'll be keeping an eye on NFL Total Access all week is Jason Witten, who had a rib injury. He hardly played in this game. He went back into the locker room twice, only 8 yards receiving. Of course, Tony Romo won't be playing in New York next week. And more on the Dallas game still to come on this 2-hour edition of NFL Game Day. How did the Giants fare leading up to that Cowboys game next week? They had their only loss of the year at Cleveland. They had their hands full at another AFC North team, and no AFC North team just alone, the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. An offensive shootout as Carolina came off its bye week, but they were on the East Coast where they have a hard time winning. Steve Smith and the Carolina Panthers coming back in that one, and we go abroad, across the pond, as they say, for a jolly good game between the Saints and the Chargers. You're watching 2 hours of NFL Game Day, people. Work with us, not against us. Stay with us.
So, EJ, we've designed you a signature shoe worthy of a 3-time All-American with mad smarts and sick leadership skills. Ta-da!
There are over 380,000 NCAA student athletes.
Yeah, you got your GPA embossed, right? There.
I love it.
And just about all of them will be going pro in something other than sports.
Can I get it in a loafer for casual Fridays?
Yes. Yes.
And Yankee fans are like oil and water. Cubs and White Sox fans at the same dinner table? Bad idea. Despite their differences, fans do have one thing in common. Their heroes all wear Majestic Athletic, the official uniform supplier for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Available now all over Europe at nesn.com.
Join in the passion and pageantry of college football every Saturday on NASN. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Lee Corso get you ready for all the college football you can handle live on College Game Day.
They got it!
Followed by an action-packed doubleheader. Live college football, Saturday on NASN.
Leading 5-1 Buffalo Bills in Miami, taking on a 2-4 Miami team in desperate need of a win to keep this surprising 0-8 campaign alive and well. First play of the game, Chad Pennington up top to Ted Ginn, and this was a tone setter on the day.
He's off the milk cart. They've been waiting for Ted Ginn to come into his own.
There's the Wildcat. Uh-oh. It's Ronnie Brown, direct snap. Some tough yardage. I think I still hear the Wildcat in the background. We got to cage that. It's alive and well. 6-yard gain for first down 3 plays later. And here is Pennington to Anthony Fasano. Touchdown.
Great play call.
Miami up 7-0 on the excellent first opening drive. Let's cut to the third quarter now. Buffalo has 3 more field goals to its credit. And Trent Edwards, 9-yard gain on 1st and 10 from his own 46, 5 plays later. It's inside the 10, and here's Marshawn Lynch picking his way into the end zone.
Nice block by the wide receiver, and he picked his way, like you said, touchdown, Marshawn Lynch.
16-7, Bills are up, but that's when the Dolphins began to play with porpoise. Ted Ginn Jr. 64 yards on the slant, set up a field goal to make it a one-possession game again as the ball, thankfully for Ginn, was fumbled out of bounds. After the Bills punt, second play for the Miami drive, it's that crazy, wacky Wildcat again, and it's Ronnie Brown with the direct snap. 8-yard gain. There it is. Is that my stomach?
No, you gotta love that.
Ted Ginn Jr. gain of 19 yards on the next play.
He's ran before.
Same play. I don't blame him. If it's open, keep running it.
Career high 7 catches for 175 yards, and then Ricky Williams, 3 plays later, caps off the drive, and Miami's up by 1.
It's a luxury to have 2 backs that can score from that far out.
Fourth quarter we go. Trent Edwards hit by Randy Starks, and Will Allen picks it off in the air.
Merry Christmas. Early Christmas.
34-yard line he returns it to, led to another Miami field goal. 20-16, Miami's up by 4. Next Bills drive. 1st and 10, Edwards hit by Vonnie Holiday, and Lee Evans still plucks it out of the air for a gain of 33 yards 3 plays later on the Miami 33. This highlight sponsored by the number 3 right now. Trent Edwards tries to pick it up on short yardage by leaning the ball over the first down line, and Joey Porter snatches it away.
Nice effort, but you can't do that upfield now, Trent. You can only do it by the goal line.
And then a mistake by Trent Edwards in the end zone on the next possession. It's Joey Porter again, a safety as the ball is loose. The Bills recover it, and the Dolphins go on a win by the final of 25-16 as Edwards' last gasp attempt to Robert Royal is fumbled, and Channing Crowder picks it up to seal the deal for the now 3-4 Miami Dolphins. The Bills, as you know, guys, have been a fourth quarter team all year, but this particular fourth quarter was in the twilight zone for them. Interception, fumble lost, safety, fumble lost, muff punt, fumble lost for 5 consecutive possessions in the fourth. That's not how you win football games.
No, it's not. But these 2 teams are both very much improved over last year.
Well, that was the Bills' first division game this season.
Speaking of much improved, the Lions aren't that. Hate to say it. Clinton Portis, league's leading rusher in Detroit. First quarter, Lions with the ball after a Redskins fumble. Redskins up 3-0. Dan Orlovsky to Calvin Johnson.
To get it to the big guy.
31-yard gain. Next play, speaking of milk carton, this is Rudy Johnson. Taken to the end zone.
Go. I make a game of it.
I think first points in first quarter, that is an alarming stat.
And then later in the game, apparently, Jim Zorn talking to Clinton Portis.
He's saying, I'm the coach, I run this show.
Well, Portis was upset, apparently, that Sean Alexander was
the tiptoe burglar?
He was in the game, and you know, we move forward to the third quarter now, when it's a nice Chris Cooley 17-yard gain on 3rd and 6 with Detroit up 10-9, and Santana Moss a 50-yard score to put the Redskins up 16-10. Fourth quarter, Lions in punt formation. Now, we show you this only if what?
It's a boo-boo.
Or
a great
Are you going to the house?
And now,
house call.
We show you what it is. Wow. Santana.
Where's the punter?
Becomes
right there.
The first Redskin in team history to come up with a punt return and a receiving touchdown in the same game. Never happened before.
That's history.
Make the first guy miss.
First guy miss.
And then
You
the second guy.
You got to be able
And
to
then the
break
third
the
guy.
tackle.
Redskins went for 2 but failed to convert. 22-10 is your score. Fourth quarter, Orlovsky to Calvin Johnson
out of the backfield.
And we've got a game. 22-17. That's your score. 3:30 remaining. 2nd and 6. Clinton Portis. 6th play of this drive, and Portis is busting loose.
Now, can we all just get along? That's what he's saying right there on the bench. Mr. Zorn, Coach Zorn, let me call the plays. You remain to be the player. I'm running this show.
What another day for Clinton Portis in this game. 48 seconds remaining. Lions down by 8. 4th and 3. Orlovsky tries to make something happen, but London Fletcher with a nice collision on Calvin Johnson to end the final Lions threat, and the Redskins now improve to 6-2 in the National Football League season. Steve, let's take a look at what presented by Verizon Wireless, and you'll coach him up.
Let's talk about
Jason Campbell's up to.
Jason Campbell now 230 throws this year alone without an interception. And that's so important because the Redskins are not winning games by a lot of points. This is their widest margin of victory, 27-17 today, all season. He hasn't thrown interceptions. Let's take a look at what he does well. Take a look right now with the play action right here. And they have a good run game, so play action is going to be good. But he's got backside pressure. He's got front side pressure. What do I do with the football? I'm going to step up. I'm a strong guy. I can break this tackle, and I'm going to get the ball out to Todd Yoder for a nice first down. Good awareness in the pocket. Now, talk about awareness. I got a free safety, Dion, walking up now. I need to get my backs changed so I can maximum protect this thing.
I love when you change your voice like that.
Well, watch this guy. He says, get the formation. He's responsible for formation. He's going to max protect this thing. Both backs are going to check their side before they get out. It's just a 3-man route. Sets his feet. Nice throw to Antoine Randall for a 31-yard gain. That's the way to manage the protection and the formation. Jason Campbell. And how about this? He knows it's blitz. Why does he know it's blitz, Dion? Because the guy's over the top of that receiver.
That's a giveaway to get it.
That's a giveaway. Set my feet. Huh. He gets, look at the defender, jumps a little bit. Now I'm going to avoid. I've got to be able to avoid and throw. Reset my feet again, and I'm going to throw the ball down the sideline to Santana Moss for a 50-yard touchdown. This kid, Jason Campbell, is making great progress. That's a coach him up by Verizon Wireless, Rich. But this guy is making strides. It's not just the interception record, but he's getting good over the ball, in the huddle, audibles, playing the game. Good job, Jason.
And if he throws a pick in any of these games, they've been playing some tight games, have they not? I mean, the fact that he's not turning it over is perhaps a major reason, or along with Clinton Portis leading the league in rushing.
Yeah, they're 6-2.
They're 6-2.
Yeah, they're 6-2, but they got a 5-point win, a 7, a 2, a 6, a 2, a 3. I mean, they are winning close. They're not 6-2 if he's throwing interceptions.
And Portis joins O.J. Simpson as the only players in NFL history to have 2 different streaks over 5 games of 120 yards rushing in one game, along with, it's unbelievable what he's doing. And now we move to a commercial break and get ready to show you the Carolina-Arizona highlights. A big comeback in this game worth noting.
NHL on NASN. Number 1 draft pick Steve Stamkos and the Lightning head north to the Mecca of hockey to take on the rebuilding Maple Leafs. Then, 2 of hockey's greatest playmakers, Crosby and Thornton, hit the ice as the Penguins face off against the Sharks. An NHL doubleheader tonight on NASN. See the very best of the college football season on NASN. Every Saturday begins with College Game Day, as Chris, Lee, and Kirk visit a different campus each week before we kick off live coverage of games from across the USA.
He heads for the corner. Touchdown!
Plus, we've got more live matchups during the week and first air games Sundays and Mondays. If you miss any of the action, catch all the highlights with College Football Final each Sunday. And during the week, keep up with all the latest news by watching College Football Live, ESPN's 30-minute interactive highlight show.
Glad to have you with us on College Football Live.
Want even more choice of live games during the regular season? Sign up for our additional coverage on ESPN360.com, featuring up to 25 live games a week. As the season reaches its climax, we've got great conference championship games, and the College Player of the Year is honored with the Heisman Trophy.
Touchdown, Texas!
In December, the postseason gets started with coverage of all the top bowl games, including every BCS game and the national championship game live from Miami.
Lynn rolling left, lofts it to the end zone. Touchdown!
Celebrate college football's 140th season right here on NASN. Check NASN.com for weekly schedules and game previews.
Game-winning home scores!
Great moments on NASN.
36 seconds to go in the overtime. And here goes got Alfredson with him. A steal by Tyler Kennedy. Jason Smith is Kennedy looks at the net. He shoots and scores! Tyler Kennedy puts the capper on a great week and wins it for the Penguins in overtime.
It was a day like any other in Moscow. Thousands of Spartak fans braved the bitter cold to see Holland's Harlem. Spartak were winning 1-0 when minutes before the final whistle they scored again. What ensued can only be described as one of the greatest tragedies in football. The Soviet media called it an accident in which some were injured. More than 300 people are thought to have lost their lives that day. ESPN Classic gives you the truth behind the Moscow football disaster. Monday, 20th of October at 2200 on ESPN Classic.
Coast, something had to give, right?
Something.
Well, maybe not. Here come the Panthers out with smoke. Anquan Bolden, his face looks good. Very rarely do you say that on TV when you have to meet him with him, since he had it nearly rearranged in his last game. And he comes back after a 4-week absence, and he is a factor.
Yes, he is.
To say the least.
I'm surprised he played this soon.
30-yard end around.
He has a face mask and a helmet on, Coach.
Led to a field goal, Arizona an early lead, and then Jake Delhomme swarmed under by Carlos Dansby, who strips the ball and recovers it on the Carolina 5. And then Kurt Warner finds Anquan Bolden to cash it into points.
Welcome back.
Collectively, these are two of the best receivers, probably the best tandem in the game, but they're not only tough and physical, they run great routes.
You mean Anquan Bolden and
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Speaking of,
Larry!
27-yard gain
Catches
early
the
in the
ball
third
with
quarter.
his hands, not the body, the hands.
3 plays later, it's Tim Hightower, fresh from Police Academy 8.
Get in there.
6th rushing touchdown of the season for Hightower. And Arizona up 14 midway through the third quarter in Carolina. But Delhomme gets things started on the ensuing possession. Jeff King, a 31-yard gain. Tight end over the middle 3 plays later. D'Angelo Williams with a burst through the middle.
Breaking tackles.
5th career 100-yard gain for the young running back. Panthers now down by 7. Ensuing Cardinals possession. Edgerrin James coughs it up. Maake Kemoeatu with the hit.
Good job, Rich.
Thomas Davis with an easier name to mention with the recovery.
I would have given him a nickname.
Next play, thankfully, I've just got to say Smith.
That's an easy one.
Steve Smith, easy name or easy touchdown?
Both. Both.
Tied at 17 now. Next Panthers possession, 6th play of the drive, next Cardinals possession. Warner steps up in the pocket, and he finds Fitzgerald for 30 yards. 5 plays later, it is Warner to Bolden again. Bolden, 9 catches, 63 yards, 2 touchdowns in his return from the injured list. And the extra point, however.
What's going on?
It's not like you draw it up.
When extra points don't get converted, they
You got
usually
one
come
thing
back
to
to
do.
haunt
The
you.
holder has one job.
It's 6-point game now when Steve Smith makes a play. Last play of the third quarter is a touchdown. It's ruled as a touchdown.
How did he not step out of bounds?
Coach Wisenhunt throws the red hanky, says, let's see if he stepped out of bounds, because it's right in front of the coaching staff.
Now, the heel didn't go down. Not the heel. He's on the toes.
Well, it's ruled as a touchdown. I guess they didn't either see his heel touch or saw anything that could overturn the call on the field, and it's a 1-point Carolina lead again because Arizona did not convert on the extra point on its previous touchdown. Ensuing Arizona possession, John Beeson with the pick. Young linebacker returns it, 44 yards.
turnover in the red zone, that's a killer.
You put the
because
ball
you
up 49 times, Coach. That's bound to happen.
Yeah,
Cardinals
automatic field goal.
had a 14-point lead in Carolina, but could not hold on. So Arizona is at 4-3, still atop an otherwise anemic NFC West. Meanwhile, in the NFC South, Carolina is 6-2 with a one-game lead over Tampa, which you saw at the top of the show, lost in Dallas. Steve Smith, 3 straight games now for 100 yards and a touchdown, at least, in a game against the Cardinals. This guy kills the Cardinals, and he's been killing it overall this year.
Yeah, he makes this team go because he's so good off the jam. He's so good when you back off him from playing off position as a cornerback. You got to bump him and put a safety over top, and that allows you to have the running game. What I like about this kid, he got suspended earlier this season, and that is not indicative of a leader, but he is a leader. I think the suspension truly helped this guy go to another level. Not only does he run great routes, he's tough, he's tenacious, he runs inside, outside, got great hands to run back kicks, but he's a dog. What I mean by a dog is when there's a fight that breaks out, you want him on your side because he can get it done. There's no question what you're going to get from Steve Smith every Sunday.
I would say Ken Lucas would say the same thing. You'd rather have him on your side if a fight breaks out.
He gave him that ball after he scored his first touchdown back, didn't he?
And he's obviously proven himself as a worthy competitor throughout his entire career as well.
And we know he runs good routes and he catches the ball well and he does all those other things. But what he does, maybe the best in the National Football League, is get off the jam. Young receivers out there watching, you got to be able to do this. Football League, you've got to be able to stutter, swim, rip, whatever you need to do, but you got to be able to, look at it. He can get off the jam. Use your legs, use your arms, use your quickness, and your strength. He's got great suddenness. Look at this. He can do that, and that guy's not going to slow him up. You got to try to, he's got to separate. He can separate at the line of scrimmage or in the intermediate. That's where he separates himself from the rest of the receivers in the league, at the line of scrimmage.
And it's all good for the Panthers right now. A bye week at 6-2 with a game lead atop the NFC South, so they can get well and sit and stare at their standings for all the next 7 days. When we come back, across to London, a big game played in Europe. 2 teams at 3-4 coming in. Saints and Chargers.
It's a glove! It's a baseball glove!
For Wilson gloves and much, much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
He's violated his own defense, Mike. Mike just watched the way he danced past those 2 blockers. Tangoed right in there. Unbelievable. Check out the rookie. Slam dunk.
ESPN 360. Wherever and whenever you're online, you're at the game.
Swisheroo, baby.
In 2007, rookie wideout Calvin Johnson helped the Detroit Lions win 5 of their first 7 games.
Welcome to the NFL, rookie.
That is one great catch.
At 6'4", Johnson is a big and rugged target for the Lions.
Calvin Johnson dives in for a Lion touchdown.
But don't let his size fool you. Averaging almost 16 yards per catch in 2007, Johnson has the speed to pose a deep threat, too.
We're only 1 quarter through this 4-quarter, 2-hour program, guys. 2 hours.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's it.
2 hours ain't that time.
The Giants and the Steelers played a heck of a game, lived up to the marquee billing, a late Sunday Week 8 game. Highlights still coming. Could the Rams beat the Redskins, Cowboys, and Patriots back to back to back? That's quite the trifecta. And after losing to the Rams last week, the Cowboys came back despite an anemic offensive effort, thanks to the defense, to win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. A full report from Dallas forthcoming. Let's go to London.
London?
Figuratively, not
You gonna take me to London?
There it
Top
is.
of the morning, too. I don't think I have a passport.
Shocked the world, it was raining. Lining up for the fish and chips. That's where you'd be, right, Steve? Fish and chips?
At the pub.
Is that where you'd be? No. Drew Brees, bringing his red-hot game to Wembley. We pick it up second quarter. Saints after a field goal, kicking off, leading 9-3 to Darren Sproles, who puts the ball on the turf.
Should have just handed it off to him.
Sama Young with the pickup right there, and then 6 plays later, going for it on 4th and 1. The Brits seeing some rolling of the dice, and here comes Deuce McAllister rolling in the end zone.
That's a way to entertain the Brits. Go for it on 4th down.
16-3 is the score. Next Chargers possession, 3rd and inches. LaDainian Tomlinson, nice spin move. He said he wanted the ball more and that the toe is healed and no longer can be an excuse. He walks the walk for 40 yards down to the 4. 2 plays later, Rivers to Tomlinson, who cuts on a dime.
You can't teach that.
That looks healthy to me, right there.
Great backs must make players miss.
6-point game again. 3 and change to go in the half. From the San Diego 30, Breeze to Lance Moore, who honors the Londonites by giving a soccer-style type slide celebration. But then the Brits learn you can't go to your knees in America to celebrate.
Sportsmanlike conduct.
Come on, Tony.
Number 16, offense. For an unnecessary demonstration. This 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
They're booing.
They're booing Mike Pereira and
That's how I
Tony.
feel.
That doesn't sell across the pond.
Let them celebrate.
23-10 before halftime. Antonio Gates initially ruled out of bounds, but a little zebra conference shows that they make the right call eventually.
2.
That's a touchdown. One of the officials didn't think that he already had it
over there.
Well, it's the exchange rate. Third quarter, 23-17. Here comes Drew Brees and the Saints. First possession of the half. Brees to Marcus Colston, 49 yards on 2nd and 8. Puts the ball at the Chargers 4. 2 plays later, Brees under center, play fake and roll. Mark Campbell puts the Saints up 30-17. It's 30-20 in the 4th quarter we go. Brees in the shotgun, throws the end zone to Robert Meacham, and there's a handkerchief on the play.
This is a terrible call by the officials. And I think the NFL officials are the best officials in sports, but this is a terrible call.
Cletus Gordon called for pass interference, and that led to a 1-yard touchdown by Mike Carney. Saints up 37-20. Next Chargers possession, Rivers to Antonio Gates, 20 yards over the middle, led to a field goal, and then the ensuing Chargers kickoff after the field goal. They go on sides, and it works.
Nice. That's well executed. You got a guy that's going to try to get it. The percentage of getting these, I'm not surprised, is about 40-some%.
San Diego trying to cash that surprise into points. Rivers, Vincent Jackson, 17-yard gain. 4 plays later, it's 3rd and 1 from the Saints 14. Rivers to a diving Vincent Jackson off the play fake. 14-yard touchdown. It's a 1-touchdown game.
Yeah, that was sold by the run action. He had a lot of time to set his feet and throw a strike.
Got his knees down. A knee equals 2 feet in any country. Next Saints possession, Breeze to Billy Miller. It is picked by Eric Weddle, and then the Saints challenge. Weddle ruled without possession of the football.
Yep. Good call.
Tony Correnti overturns the play. Saints wind up punting. Norv Turner does get the ball back. After a San Diego holding penalty, it's 1st and 20 from their own 12. Rivers to LaDainian Tomlinson, who had 19 rushes for 105 yards and a 23-yard gain on this pass out of the backfield. 4 plays later, it's 4th and 2. 2 minutes and change to go. Rivers has to go for it. Down 7. Antonio Gates picks up the first down, 11 yards. 1:18 left in the game. 3rd and 15 from the New Orleans 32. Rivers. Tip drill. Jonathan Vilma picks it.
Go down.
And that seals the deal, right?
You think so?
Well, there's 14 seconds to go. The San Diego using all its timeouts, and Breeze decides to go for the safety. The poor Brits probably wondering what is happening.
What is that rule?
Well, it's a safety. Threw it out of the end zone, and that means it's a 5-point game, and Darren Sproles has a chance to run it back.
Oh, boy.
And he's taken down with 1 tick left. Sean Payton thought, I'm going back to America, but no, there's 1 tick left. Rivers throws in the end zone. It's a Hail Mary in London. And the Saints breathe a sigh of relief, winning 37-32. How long do you think that flight back to San Diego is going to feel? As the Chargers face this bit of reality. 38 teams have started 4-4 and reached the playoffs since 1990. Since 1990, only 5 teams have reached the playoffs after a 3-5 start. That is how important this game was in London for the Saints and the Chargers. Our Mary Strong reports from Wembley.
It was a big win for the Saints here in London. Their high-powered offense came out firing. They were desperate for a win heading into Sunday 3-4, and quarterback Drew Brees made sure they got one.
We're at a stage now where hopefully this can springboard us on to, win after win after win. And, who knows? Last year, the New York Giants, rattled off a bunch of victories after they won here and ended up being Super Bowl champs. So certainly we're a long way from that, but we just want to take it one step at a time.
The Chargers find themselves at 3-5 at the halfway point of the season. They take a very long trip home and say they'll use a welcomed week off to figure out what has gone wrong.
I think the bye is going to help us. I think mentally and physically it will help us. And we have another season. We have an 8-game season coming up, and we'll get back and get ready for that.
It's a tough one to swallow, and 3-5 with a 13-hour flight ahead of us doesn't make it any better. So we'll find out about us. I say it all the time, but we truly will after this one.
The Saints' victory is bittersweet, with several players reportedly testing positive for banned substances. One of the players in question, Deuce McAllister, says the process has been going on for some time.
I guess you guys just found out about it, at this point. But, whether it's, whatever happens, that's what's going to happen. We've hired counsel. He's going to do his job to, kind of put the case together. And however the NFL rules, that's what it'll be.
The matchup here in London was not only a success for the Saints, but also for the NFL. The field that both teams were worried about survived an intense offensive game, and it was exactly what they were hoping to give the fans here in the United Kingdom. From Wembley, I'm Mary Strong, NFL Network.
Yeah, again, the folks who were over there in London, last year's Giants-Dolphins game, only 23 combined points. This was a 69 combined point effort. But back here in America, the reality is that San Diego will be on its bye week at 3-5. Denver at 4-3 leads the division. Will play Miami at home next week. So it's feasible that the Chargers will be down 2 plus games in division, because they already lost to Denver. Steve, is it really time to hit the panic button in Southern California at this point?
No, San Diego Chargers don't want to be 3-5. They ended up 11-5 last year, and they're basically underachieving, but they can still win that division, because Denver's a team that got them already. They can win that division. They're only a game and a half behind. New Orleans really had to win this game because they're having to stay up with Carolina and Tampa. They're a little further out, so New Orleans being 4-4, much more important. But the Chargers have got to get it together, and I think they will as the second half of the season progresses.
I saw you nodding your head when I asked about the panic button.
You're saying they can't win the division by default. You're saying by default.
It doesn't matter if you win it by, doesn't matter how you win it, just win it.
You don't have a running game. Your secondary is 32nd versus the pass. That's the only reason New Orleans won this game, because New Orleans didn't run the ball successfully, but Drew Brees is playing out of his head.
What's happened to the secondary in San Diego?
Injuries, scheme, just confidence overall. That's what's happened to the secondary.
And they don't get the pressure on the quarterback that they used to with Sean Merriman.
I'm wondering if by the end of the season we look back at the 08 Chargers and the Merriman injury is something that we're still talking about.
No, those first 2 games is something that we're going to talk about. Remember, they lost those first 2 games in the last seconds of the game.
Still to come here on NFL Game Day, the New England Patriots had a very game St. Louis Rams squad in the house, as Snoop always is on NFL Game Day, telling us what's still to come on this 2-hour program.
Hey, I bet you wanna. A little something for the NFC, AFC, North, South, East, and West. Quarterbackers, linebackers, cornerbackers, these are the best in the NFL. Let me express, I'm at the pad on the couch, eating on a ham sandwich, watching highlights from games that I missed today. I bet Deion come up with something slick to say, like Gucci, Lucci, Richie Rich, or Coach Mariucci. Give me the ball, I go for it all. I gotta get mine, so you gotta get yours. Hey, I bet you wanna. I bet you wanna. On prime time on NFL Network. I bet you wanna. I bet you wanna.
NHL on NASN. #1 draft pick Steve Stamkos and the Lightning head north to the Mecca of hockey to take on the rebuilding Maple Leafs. Then, 2 of hockey's greatest playmakers, Crosby and Thornton, hit the ice as the Penguins face off against the Sharks. An NHL doubleheader tonight on NASN.
Adrian Peterson getting his first touchdown in week 1 on a screen and a flat. Watch this.
Peterson caught 35, runs through the defense, and he's gone. 20, 10, touchdown, Adrian Peterson. That's his first National Football League touchdown. It went for 60 yards, and the 4-4 was in play for the final 40.
It's kind of hard to explain, explain the feeling, but it felt so good in the leap in the crowd. That's something I always dreamed about doing. So that was exciting also.
November on NASN. See over 30 live NHL games, including a rematch of the 2008 Stanley Cup Final. The NFL begins its Thursday night matchups with a special Thanksgiving tripleheader. The ball is back on the court with college hoops returning and NBA Fast Break bringing you all the highlights and analysis from around the league. Plus, it's rivalry week in college football, including Ohio State, Michigan. November on NASN.
With Jim Haslett as the interim head coach, but no Steven Jackson in New England.
Now, that's a problem.
Matt Castle starting after a 3-touchdown performance last week on Monday night. Down 3-0. It's very simple sometimes when you've got Randy Moss on the team. Throw it to him. 800th career catch for Randy Moss.
800 balls?
4 plays later, Sammy Morris inactive. So who's going to carry the rock? Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, everybody.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis? Is that his whole name?
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. London and Pittsburgh have their Big Ben. New England's got their Big Ben Jarvis.
First name Ben Jarvis?
Mark Bulger has this young rookie, the first wide receiver taken off the board in the draft this year. Donnie Avery had a big catch against Dallas last week, a near 69-yard score, and a robot.
Coach did that in his high school reunion.
Yes, I did. So Bill Belichick watching the Rams take a lead in the second quarter. We're tied at 10. 19 ticks left in the half. This is what the Patriots always would do with Tom Brady at the controls. Score right before heading into the locker room. Randy Moss, nice 30-yard gain, led to a Patriots field goal to go into halftime up 13-10. That's your score in the third quarter. Castle looks for Randy Moss again.
He should.
But Oshimogu Otagwe, they call him OJ for short, with a pick that led to a Josh Brown field goal to tie it at 13. That's your score.
On defense.
2 possessions later. Third and short. The Patriots give it to their Big Ben Jarvis, who stopped. 4th and 1. Bill Belichick's going to roll the dice.
Why not?
And he's going to roll the dice with Ben Jarvis. Give it to Ben Jarvis.
And he slipped.
So it's a turnover on downs, as they say. Next play, Rams 1st and 10. Bulger to Donnie Avery.
He makes some of the best adjustments on the ball that I've seen all season long.
6 receptions, 163 yards for the rookie. Led to a Rams going up on a field goal. We're tied at 16 midway through the fourth quarter. Number 16 to number 81. 23-yard gain from Moss. 7 receptions, 102 yards in the game, and then Matt Castle to Kevin Falk, who's Mr. Everything.
Yes, he is.
He's trusting Matt Castle is growing up every week. He's trusting his receivers to make plays and spreading it around.
23-16, a minute 26 left in the game. 11th play of the last drive for the Rams, trying to tie the game. Bulger, Delta O'Neal picks it, and the Patriots hang on to win this game, 23-16. It's the first career fourth quarter comeback win for Matt Castle, as the Patriots played a perfect game penalty-wise for the first time in team history. Your guy, Wes Welker.
I love me some Wes.
4th player in NFL history with 6 or more receptions in the team's first 7 games of the season. Jim Haslett, his first loss in the ledger as a Rams interim head coach. How about the New England Patriots? A couple weeks ago on this show, after they got waxed by the San Diego Chargers, Steve, you were saying it was shades of your Niners team that lost Steve Young, won a few games early, and then lost how many games? 11 or 12 games?
Let's not bring that up.
All right, Steve. Let's not be specific then.
We just lost our mojo.
But what about this New England team, how they haven't lost their mojo? They're 5-2.
Yeah,
in the
they
AFC East.
lost their quarterback, but luckily now Matt Castle's not a true rookie. He's been around for 3 or 4 years learning under Tom Brady, and you know what? He's starting to play and gaining confidence. He's getting better every week. The team is rallying around him a little bit. There's 5-2. That's an interesting story right now.
But when Tom Brady was gone, I said it was over because Tom Brady is everything. He's not just a quarterback. He's your team leader. But the thing about Tom Brady being absent, it gave everyone else a chance. It gave everyone else in the NFL hope, because I was thinking this Patriots team that was 16-0, pretty much 18-0 until the last one, right? That they were going to come back with a vengeance and say, you know what, we're going to atone for that Super Bowl loss and we're going to dominate this year. But they're still ahead because the division is bad. The division is bad. Can you honestly say it's not?
Not yet.
They're 5-2, tied with the Bills, who we'll see, as we saw earlier in the show, lost to Miami. And New England's at the Colts next week. So London's Big Ben won because of a big game. New England's Big Ben Jarvis won. Could Pittsburgh's Big Ben take on the big bad Super Bowl champs and beat them in Heinz Field? And highlights of that still to come. And the Oakland Raiders, it was Ryan v. Ryan on the defensive side of the ball. Which Ryan would prevail in Baltimore?
NASN, the #1 source for all your NFL coverage this season. We kick off each week with Sunday NFL Countdown, followed by up to 3 live games, including the top matchups from across the league. Mondays continue with 2 first-run games, followed by NFL Primetime and Monday Night Countdown with all the top stories from Sunday and all the buzz leading into the live game on Monday Night Football. Don't miss all the latest news, analysis, and features weekdays with NFL Total Access. Plus bonus coverage with NFL GameDay, Top 10, and Who Is. And come playoff time, we've got you covered with even more live games as the AFC and the NFC crown their champions with the wild card, divisional, and conference championships. And the greatest game of them all, Super Bowl 43, live from Tampa, Florida. Plus your annual trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. The NFL this season on NASN.
It's really only $2.59. They hate it when I do this. Check it out. It's time to pick me. It's your move.
Elbow injury, it's increasingly looking like Ryan Fitzpatrick is the Bengals starting quarterback
for the rest of the season.
Taking on Andre Johnson in the resurgent Houston Texans. Here comes Jacoby Jones on a punt return after Cincinnati punts after its first possession of the game. 73-yard score, and
guess what he's running, Rich?
A nice moment with his mama.
To his mama! Second time this season, he's run straight to his mama.
Well,
glad she sits in the end zone.
Andre Johnson had the Bengals defense crying for their mama. Crying uncle, mama, whatever.
How do you think Chad Johnson feels when opposing receivers catching ball after ball after ball?
Yeah, this guy's going to Honolulu.
But his team can't get him the ball.
11 catches for 143 yards as Chad Johnson had a front row seat to all of that on Sunday. And then 2 plays later, Schaub spreads it around. Kevin Walter, 7-yard score. 21-6, Texans are up. Imagine if the Texans had beat the Colts in that game that they were up by 17 with 5 minutes to go. They would be 4-3 now as opposed to 3-4. This play is sort of a microcosm of the Bengals season. Walter gets up because Jonathan Joseph doesn't touch him while he's down. He sort of was lackadaisical in applying the hands to him.
Touch him when he's down, not after he gets up.
Oh, boy. I guarantee you he's hearing it from defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer.
Bengals
I promise you that.
Bengals are 0-8. Biggest margin of victory in Houston Texans history. There's Rob Ryan.
Well, we got that over with
This
quick.
is Rob.
There's Rex Ryan.
This is Rex.
Where's Buddy?
Buddy is
on the couch eating a sandwich.
Where's Meg? Well, the Ravens
Seattle.
defense getting it done early. There's a Terrell Suggs and Douglas onto Justice Vargas. And then Terrell Suggs finds Michael Bush right there. Raiders' second drive of the game as the Ravens defense was dominating from the get-go. Jameel McClain sacks Russell for the first 2 points of the game. And the cable guy's not like we're seeing.
Wildcat.
Yep. And it's Troy Smith.
Oh,
What do you call it?
That's not a real Wildcat.
When it's your backup quarterback?
Because he's a quarterback.
It's still Wildcat.
He ain't that fast either.
It's like Ohio State right there. 8-yard gain for the Heisman Trophy winner.
It's not a Wildcat.
Same drive, it's Willis McGahee scoring. 9-0 Ravens. First play of the Raiders' ensuing drive. Here comes Jamarcus.
That's a big arm, man.
It is.
Wrong guy.
Frank Walker with the picks, and we're gonna get some reaction because there's our son. Yeah.
NFL Network, yeah.
Well done, right in front of our son. 9 plays in the Ravens' ensuing drive. Joe Flacco to Demetrius Williams, 70 yards wide open.
When you have that much time to throw, I will credit that offensive lineman in Baltimore Ravens. Not only are they run blocking well, they are pass blocking as well also.
We're going to call a prime out on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, please.
What are we doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust yourself. This is not crazy. It's not ludicrous. This is flat out ignorant.
Johnny Lee Higgins.
What was he thinking?
I think maybe he's a punt.
You can't coach that.
Third quarter now.
You don't coach that.
19-3. Troy Smith back in the game, and who's he looking for? Joe Flacco lays out.
Got it.
Oh! 43-yard reception.
Out of the shotgun, that's where you can do this. Now he sneaks out of there like John Elway did a few thousand years ago. Get there, Joe.
What do you think the film study coverage is going to be looking like for the defender on that play?
Are they going to kill him in the field goal?
It led to a Matt Stove Diddy field goal. 22-10, and Joe Flacco with his legs.
He does it with his legs.
And he runs over a safety.
He's a pass receiver. He's a runner, and he's a rookie quarterback.
And he's looking for a phone deal.
Yeah.
29-10.
He's like, I did that.
Buy low, sell high.
For real?
Ravens are 4-3 in the AFC.
Who would have thunk?
As for the leader of the Ravens division, the Steelers, again, had their hands full with the Giants in town. Highlights coming up.
The Cincinnati Bengals have a 1-2 punch at wide receiver that staggers opposing defenses. Over the past 4 seasons, Chad Johnson and TJ Houshmandzadeh ranked 2nd and 3rd in the NFL in receptions and have combined for nearly 10,000 receiving yards. In 2008, they hope to finally rack up some big numbers in the postseason.
Day after day, brave as your life, be the one you never be again. Day after day, brave as your life, be the one you never be again.
Long-ass line, Frank, I'm tired. Green 18! Green 18, sir. Wouldn't that be pass interference? The ball's in the air.
He has defensive hold early, so we're gonna. You don't want to.
He held him the whole damn time. My head's getting bigger. These hats are getting smaller. Shut up.
NHL on NASN. #1 draft pick Steve Stamkos and the Lightning head north to the mecca of hockey to take on the rebuilding Maple Leafs. Then, 2 of hockey's greatest playmakers, Crosby and Thornton, hit the ice as the Penguins face off against the Sharks. An NHL doubleheader tonight on NASN.
And I'm not trying to tell you something, guys. It's going to change. It's not like that, okay? But I want you to understand where I'm coming from.
Mike Singletary's first post-game press conference as a coach was a doozy.
That's an understatement.
Don't miss that. We'll play that at length later on in the show. We've got highlights also of the Eagles and Falcons in Philadelphia. The Jets and the Chiefs went down with one of the final plays of the game. The Chiefs gave the Jets quite a scare in the Meadowlands. And then more from Dallas as the Cowboys came up with a must-win, right? We call it must-win against Tampa Bay on Sunday. Full. That is still to come on NFL GameDay. Bye. Wow, that's quite an introduction. Roethlisberger and Manning have jammed quite a bit in their first 4 seasons of National Football League action. They came in the same draft in first round in 2004. They both have Super Bowl rings, and they both have 5-1 teams facing off against each other on Sunday. Former Steeler Plexico Burress did not start this game. He missed a mandatory treatment session.
That's because they lead in the division.
That's why Tom Coughlin.
And he has a long-term contract, Tom Coughlin.
Couldn't do that.
That's why you could do stuff like that.
First possession of the game for the Steelers. You know, there is no I in Moreeeee, but it doesn't matter when he runs like this for Willie Parker, still being out. Moreeeee more 32-yard scamper. Steelers take the early 7-0 lead, just like that. 7-3 next possession for the Steelers. And James Butler picks off Roethlisberger, puts the ball on the turf, but the Giants eventually recover it. And then 7 plays later into the second quarter of this drive, Greg. Here comes Brandon Jacobs running people over as only he can.
He does best. The big back, 270 pounds of muscle.
That's a
Reported 270.
That's a Ryan Clark pancake there. Next play, 8th play of the drive. Troy Polamalu gets a hand on it.
He never saw Troy Polamalu in that play.
2 plays later, 10th play of the drive. Brandon Jacobs stretches the ball over the goal line. Refs signal touchdown. Mike Tomlin challenges. There's the video to prove my point that he challenges. And after further review, elbow down, ball not over the plane. That is 4th down now.
Good call.
So back comes the Steelers defense. Back comes the Giants offense. Back comes Brandon Jacobs calling again, and he is stopped. Ruled not in the end zone, and the Giants challenge this one.
Why not? Game of inches.
Instant replay getting a workout early on.
Across the plane of the goal line.
And the play stood as called.
You can't tell. You cannot overturn it if you can't prove it.
They need to put a sensor inside the ball. They do.
Your guy Nance says that.
They do.
So the Giants did get a field goal out of their next possession because they stopped the Steelers, got good field position.
Oh, wait a minute.
7-6 in the second quarter when Butler drills Nate Washington.
That's a horse collar.
And the ball is loose as Brian Keel picks it off. Giants take over. 6 plays later, there's Plexico Burress on 3rd down. Ike Taylor stops him before the first. The Giants get another field goal, settling for field goals instead of scores in the red zone. 4 trips inside the 20, just 9 points early on in this game for the Giants. Third quarter, Roethlisberger to Nate Washington, instant points as Butler gets turned around now. And Washington's in the end zone, and Pittsburgh is up 14-9 on a 65-yard Big Ben to Washington strike. Fourth quarter we go. Eli Manning getting vocal on the sideline.
He has a C on his shirt. He's supposed to.
Steelers have the ball to start the fourth quarter. 4th and 4 from the Giants, 34 and going for it. Roethlisberger escapes the rush. Corey Webster picks him off. Roethlisberger's 3rd pick of the game. 4 plays later, 3rd and 9 for the Giants. Kevin Boss, nice spin move, picks up the first down. 4 plays later, it's 4th and 6 in the Steelers' 34. Coughlin's got a long-term contract. He's going for it.
That's right.
Manning up top to Amani Toomer, the old reliable.
Old faithful.
But the Giants settle for only a field goal. Can't get again. 14-12. Giants defense stops. It's Mitch Berger.
Oh, who
James Harrison is the backup long snapper, which got hurt in this game. So Harrison's not used to this.
No, that's amazing.
And the punter was hurt also.
Mitchberger was hamstrung a bit. So the Giants are now tied after that safety, getting the ball back. Steve Smith on 3rd and 7, 25-yard gain. 2 plays later, 2nd and 2. Manning to Burris, 8-yard gain.
Out of bounds.
Down to the 9. 2 plays later. He's the boss, he's the boss, he's the boss.
Wide open, great play action fake. The linebacker bid up, tight end's wide open on the corner route.
Kevin Boss puts the Giants up 7. Next Steelers possession, 4th and 4, going for it. Hines Ward can't corral it. Turnover on downs. Giants go 3 and out. Steelers get the ball back. 4th down, 1.5 minutes to go. Roethlisberger to Limas Swede, but Kenny Phillips, the rookie, is there playing center field. And the Giants go into Pittsburgh and come out with a come-from-behind win to be 6-1, best record in the National Football Conference. The Steelers led 14-9 in this game, as you saw, going into the 4th quarter, but they had 0 first downs and just 2 total yards in the final 15 minutes of this game. And it is tough to win, even at home, when you have more turnovers and sacks allowed than points, first downs, and yards in the 4th quarter.
Our 3rd quarter did not look real good. Let's face it, we hardly had the ball. When we did, it was terrible field position. We had a lot of penalties that were kind of driving us crazy. But give the credit to the players and the coaches for hanging in there, for playing tough, for finding a way to win, for winning the 4th quarter, which is what we did. And when the situation started to turn and we really started to get pressure on the quarterback, he didn't have a lot of time to maneuver the ball down the field.
That's a championship caliber football team, not only from a talent standpoint. They show great football character. They fought. I thought our team fought. They made more plays than we did, quite simply. And we came up short. We'll accept that, and we'll take this as a learning experience. It doesn't go down easy. It's tough to swallow, but we will. And we'll march forward as a team.
All right, guys, we're in week 8. All offseason we heard the Giants, sure they won last year, but it was a fluke. Let's be honest. People were always saying that about the Giants.
Still are.
But my question for you is, they are 6-1.
Yes.
They've won in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Eli Manning and this offense is playing efficient football. Brandon Jacobs is the most bruising back in the National Football League, hands down. How can you not say this is the best team in the National Football League and the team to beat halfway through the regular season?
Because there's a team by the name of the Tennessee Titans that are undefeated, that are pretty good.
But they didn't win the Super Bowl last year.
They didn't win the Super Bowl. That was last year. Key word in that sentence was last year. What I would say about the New York Giants, they were very successful today versus the #1 defense in the league. They held this offense to 1 or 10 on 3rd down, 0 for 4 on 4th downs. And they only had, the Pittsburgh Steelers only had the ball for 25 minutes in this game. That says a lot about the New York Giants. But it all goes back to my old buddy,
Eli.
Can I trust Eli? I know there's a C on his chest. I don't know what that means. They call it captain. But it all depends on Eli. They have a great running game with big Brandon Jacobs. Nobody wants to tackle him because he's running with light pockets and a heavy heart. But that team is good. I think they're the best in the NFC right now. But the AFC teams are still inferior to the NFC teams. I would say that.
Overall.
More quality in the NFC.
Yes. And to go into Pittsburgh, that's a tough place to play. You know that. And have a physical game like it's an old school playoff type game. You've got 2 teams that lead the league in sacking the quarterback. Both teams run the football, stop the run, play defense. When you go into a game like this, Dion, you get a little bit more tape, a little bit more smelling salts. You probably bring another trainer because this is going to be a physical football game. And I love those kind of games, don't you?
I see it in your eyes.
Let's go. You're a cover corner.
But, you said, Dion, before we go to break, you said the AFC teams are inferior to the NFC teams. The Giants are leading the NFC, yet you cannot bring yourself to say the Giants are the best team in the football
league
right now.
In
and
the
team
NFC, they are.
If the Patriots coming off their Super Bowl win and are 6-1, we're all, the Patriots
Come
are.
on. Throw them a bone, will you?
I'm not looking for bones. I don't throw bones.
I'm not looking for bones.
Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
We're 8 weeks into the season. I'm still trying to get him to get off that bandwagon in Dallas.
I don't jump off
You're not off
that wagon.
You're definitely not off it. The Jets and the Chiefs, a game that was closer than the Jets ever imagined it could be, as Herman Edwards was back to where he once belonged, in the Meadowlands. And speaking of smelling salts, the 49ers got knocked out by Seattle in Mike Singletary's first game as head coach. Do not
We
miss
go
this.
out, we hit people in the mouth. Number one. Number two, we are not a charity. We cannot give them the game. That's number two.
November on NASN. See over 30 live NHL games, including a rematch of the 2008 Stanley Cup Final. The NFL begins its Thursday night matchups with a special Thanksgiving tripleheader. The ball is back on the court with college hoops returning and NBA Fast Break bringing you all the highlights and analysis from around the league. Plus, it's rivalry week in college football, including Ohio State, Michigan. November on NASN. See the very best of the college football season on NASN. Every Saturday begins with College Game Day, as Chris, Lee, and Kirk visit a different campus each week before we kick off live coverage of games from across the USA.
He heads for the corner. Touchdown!
Plus, we've got more live matchups during the week and first air games Sundays and Mondays. If you miss any of the action, catch all the highlights with College Football Final each Sunday. And during the week, keep up with all the latest news by watching College Football Live, ESPN's 30-minute interactive highlight show.
Glad to have you with us on College Football Live.
Want even more choice of live games during the regular season? Sign up for our additional coverage on ESPN360.com, featuring up to 25 live games a week. As the season reaches its climax, we've got great conference championship games, and the College Player of the Year is honored with the Heisman Trophy.
Touchdown, Texas!
In December, the postseason gets started with coverage of all the top bowl games, including every BCS game and the National Championship game live from Miami.
Glenn rolling left, lofts it to the end zone.
Celebrate college football's 140th season right here on NASN. Check NASN.com for weekly schedules and game previews.
That's deflected. What a save! What a save by Lundqvist! Hendrick, Lundqvist flashing the quick glove.
Last season, I led the league in shutouts. But it doesn't matter. I don't care if I turn away 1,663 pucks. What keeps me up at night is the 160 I didn't.
The first ever 900. The first ever 360. The first ever no-hand 900. The first ever backflip.
The sickest thing I've seen in my 20-year history.
Watch the bits that made you shout. The best of the X Games on ESPN Classic.
Mike Singletary's first game as head coach. He's been waiting a long time for this chance. Taking over from Mike Nolan, who was fired on Monday. JTO.
Smelling salt. New coach, same players.
He showed up. JT O'Sullivan is either O'Sullivan or O'Smelling Salts, and the
Same
O'Smelling
result.
Salts showed up. He's been battered all year long.
But look at it. He know how to take a good pursuit angle.
And he stops Patrick Kearney trying to get him before getting in the end zone. He saved a touchdown.
He know how to take a good pursuit angle, though. That whole offense does. There's a reason.
It was 6-0 Seattle after that. Second quarter, here's Leonard Weaver off the pitch. Nice hurdle off the pitch. Seneca Wallace getting the start in place of the injured Matt Hasselbeck. TJ Duckett finishes it off 4 plays later. Seahawks up 13-0. It's 13-3, a minute left in the first half. O'Sullivan finds Arnaz Battle for a gain of 6 and a short first down. And then Mike Singletary decides to go for it on fourth down with 44 seconds left to go in the half, down 10.
Why not?
Okay, going for it. Let's go.
Well, why not?
Okay. Well, here's why not. That. 75-yard pick six. This was O'Sullivan's last pass of the day. Singletary pushing buttons. He sat O'Sullivan, benched him for Sean Hill. As for the rest of this game, Let's go to the third quarter. Alex Smith chewing gum on the sidelines. He's out for the season. Seneca Wallace to Leonard Weaver. 43-yard touchdown dash for the fullback. And the Seahawks win 27-6, a much-needed win for the Holmgren-led Seahawks, are now 2-5. Niners are now 2-6. A very interesting sequence, not only by Singletary benching O'Sullivan, but look what happened with Vernon Davis in this game. Sean Hill throws one to Vernon Davis in the third quarter, and extracurricular for Davis, giving a little flip to Brian Russell, earning 15 yards. So Singletary gets into Davis's grill and basically tells him, so you're sitting on the bench, and then apparently thought better of it, told him to get his stuff and leave. Hit the locker room. After the game, here's how Singletary's first press conference as a head coach in the NFL went. Fascinating stuff. He started it with an apology for the way to play.
Number one is I apologize. I apologize for the start. And I don't really, it's like this. Today was good for me. It was good for me because sometimes you take a step back and you look at it and you think, hey, you know what? I'm here, it's on, we're gonna make it work. They're working hard, they're doing this, they're doing that. We're gonna go out there and it's gonna change right now. Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth, number one. Number two, we are not a charity. We cannot give them the game. That's number two. And number three is we execute from the very start of the game to the very end of the game. That did not happen. Vernon just, it was something that I told everybody at the very beginning of the week. I will not tolerate players that think it's about them when it's about the team. And we cannot make decisions that cost the team and then come off the sideline and it's nonchalant. No. You know what? This is how I believe, okay? I'm from the old school. I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. I told him that he would do a better job for us right now, taking a shower and coming back and watching the game than going out on the field.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
He's got some Ditka in him, huh?
Ditka in him. No, that's far past Ditka.
Now, Mike is good that way. He can speak, he can express himself very well, and he's got great credibility, having been a Hall of Fame player. He can't tackle, he can't throw the ball, he can't catch it, he can't avoid those penalties. The team has got to do that. Now, he made a statement today. He's going to try to get their attention, but he can't play the game for those guys.
Well, a couple questions. Hold on a minute. First of all, should he have been doing that, Steve? As a head coach, I mean, you know how the media works and how words can sometimes be thrown back in your face.
Forget us.
No. I mean, because this is the way things play in San Francisco has a lot to do with whether or not he gets this job on a full-time basis.
Most of the time.
Should he be talking like that about a player in public?
Most of the time, you leave those things in-house. You know, you're going to lecture the team or the player that you need to in the locker room or in the meeting room and not bring that similar speech to the general public. That's most of the time. But he's trying to get everybody's attention here and do it a certain way, and you got to let him do that. He's got, 8 games left to see if he can turn it around and get their attention, and that's his way right now. Let him do it and see if he can get some wins.
Ain't no rules in coaching. Ain't no rules in dealing with the media. You deal with the media the way you feel like you need to deal with the media. The problem is he was a Hall of Fame player. So he has an expectancy that players going to go out there and give it their all, play their butts off, and fight to the end. The problem is some of these new school players don't do that. This is not a fresh new incident. I can see in his voice and his tone there's frustration with this kid for the entirety since that kid's been there. That's not nothing new. That's not a fresh wound. That's old. And he was fed up and he's tired of it. Now he's the head coach. He's saying, you know what? I've been sitting up there watching this mess for weeks up under the tutelage of Mike Nolan. Now I'm going to do something about it because I'm not going to have it because it counts on his record now, Rich. This is not on anybody else's record. This is his record. He's 0-1 as a head coach.
It'll be nice fodder for discussion in their bye week.
I love it.
Cool theme. Brett Favre and the Jets' 260th consecutive start for Favre, taking on Tyler Thigpen of Coastal Carolina. First quarter, Favre, scoreless game, Jericho Cotchery crossing route, 21-yard gain. Favre put it up 40 times against a team that gave up 300 yards rushing at home last week.
What you trying to say, Coach? What you trying to say, Rich?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. It worked out to Leon Washington right there for a touchdown. Jets up 7-0 early as Washington followed the convoy on a well-set-up screen that Washington sort of bailed out, plucking it out of the air.
This guy gives a lot of players in college hope, undersized players, that they can make it.
17 ticks left the first quarter. Brandon Flowers with the easy pick. Favre's 9th pick of the year.
Yeah, the same reason you love Brett Favre. You despise him at times.
Second
because he takes chances.
Well, how would Casey do after that pick? He'll turn it into points. Dwayne Bowe, 12-yard gain. 2 plays later, Tyler Thigpen, everybody, to Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, to Tony.
We got a tie game.
Just keeps extending his records with receiving yards and touchdowns for tight ends.
Favre and the Jets offense struggled at home against Kansas City. Favre picked off by Jared Page here. And then there's a wide open Cotchery. Look out. Favre, 2 picks in the first half, although 12 of 17 for 134 yards. Tied at 7, just 2 minutes to go in the half, and here's Leon Washington breaking loose.
That's what they need to do now to get this run game going. He and Thomas Jones have got to carry more of the load.
Jets up 14-7 after that 60-yard scamper. I'm not saying, Dean, I'm just saying.
What you saying?
Chiefs' next drive, Jamal Charles, however, right before the half. This young running back with a 30-yard gain as LJ is benched again. 4 plays later, 30 ticks left in the half, 3rd and 13. Tyler Thigpen, everybody. Dwayne Bowe picks up the first down. Two plays later, 10 ticks left in the half. Thigpen, back of the end zone. Mark Bradley ruled out, but there's a buzz down from upstairs.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, Herm's like, it's a touchdown. Who knows? He would be correct.
He's like, come on, man, throw me a ball.
There's 1. There is 2.
Yeah.
And that's a touchdown.
Sure is.
We're tied at halftime of this game. Jets are down 17-14. 2:18 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 8 from the Kansas City 10. Derek Johnson almost picked 6. 3 plays later, they give it to Thomas Jones. Touchdown. I'm not saying, Dean.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm just saying.
Are you saying they should have given the ball more to Thomas Jones?
21-17, Jets are up. 4th quarter, 3rd and 2 from the Kansas City 8. It worked before. Thomas Jones, no. Brandon Flowers, yes. 91 yards to the house. He's gone, and there's nothing they could do about it. Kansas City on top, 24-17, midway through the 4th quarter in the Meadowlands. 2:30 left in the game. After exchanging punts, Favre, the number 4 magic working. Chancey Stuckey over the middle 18 yards. 1:05 left in the game. Favre, back shoulder, Lavernius Coles, touchdown.
What a throw. What a one-hand catch by Coles for the win.
And the Jets breathe a sigh of relief, improving to 4-3. Next up at Buffalo next week. Big game for the Jets then. The Cleveland Browns and Jacksonville Jaguars played a late game that went down to the very last drop.
So that's a double helping of live NCAA football with College Bowl on the side.
ESPN 360. Whenever you're online, you're at the game.
That's me. That's how I run the ball.
And he gallops inside the 30. And he gallops into the end zone. He breaks the tackle. And Adrian Peterson is loose. Peterson, touchdown, Vikings. Handoff, Adrian Peterson, and there he goes. Gentlemen, start your engines. Let's go get him. Good luck. All right, driver, tighten your belt. Ready? All right, man, here we go. These cars off. 2, 1, green flag.
NASCAR Nationwide Series, the Memphis 250, this Wednesday only on NASN.
Welcome back to NFL Game Day Final. Alongside Terrell Davis, I'm Fran Charles. Is there a changing of the guard taking place in the AFC South? Let's take you to LP Field in Tennessee for the Titans and the Colts. Titans looking to improve to 7-0 for the first time in franchise history. Colts had won 7 straight on Monday night. The Colts down 3-0 in the first quarter. Peyton Manning changes that in a hurry to Dallas Clark for a 10-yard touchdown strike. Colts back on top 7-3.
Peyton Manning to Clark. We've seen that in the past, and they got things back on track.
Colts up 7-6, third quarter. It's Manning to Clark. They had misfired on the play before, but hook up there, 14-6. Titans, though, come right back. Kerry Collins to Brandon Jones for 15 yards to the Colts, 2. And Lendale White, it's tough to keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah, from 1 yard out, you can't keep the big fella out. He's just too strong and powerful.
Titans went for 2 and made it. Tied it up at 14-0. Fourth quarter, 17-14 Titans. Collins to Lavelle Hawkins, who gets both feet down. And then on a 2nd and goal, it's White. He stretches, breaks the play.
That is a great effort from Lendale White.
And White's 10 rushing touchdowns lead the NFL. Manning looking for Clark. It's picked off by Chris Hope. Takes it all the way down to the Colts 16. Late in the fourth, and from here, it's academic. But Chris Johnson takes it in from 16 away. Johnson finishes with 77 rushing yards. Titans win it 31-21. They're 7-0. They've got a 4-game lead in the AFC South. Derek Anderson, still the starter in Cleveland, taking on David Garrard and the Jags. Jags coming off a bye and hope to look a little bit better. Anderson on a play action to Braylon Edwards, 21 yards. 5 plays later on a 3rd and goal, it's Anderson to Dante Stallworth getting some of his weapons back.
Hey, Dante Stallworth missed a couple of games this year. He's back, and that offense is starting to roll.
All right, the Browns up 7-0. Second quarter now, David Garrard on the move, eludes to Quell Jackson, and picks up 24 yards. This is why this guy's so dangerous.
Look at him. He can run the football. He doesn't like to run, but when he does run, he's effective.
All right, on a 1st and goal, 6 plays later, it's Garrard to Reggie Williams. Wide open, and we're tied up at 7. Browns now on a 4th and 1 at their own 47, going for it. And Steve Hyden's wide open. Huge play here.
Hey, that takes guts to go for it on your own side. You better make that play. They did.
51 yards, 2 plays later. It's Jamal Lewis. Digging, driving. Browns on top 14-7. Anderson says, give me some. Third quarter opening drive here. Jags down 17-7. Garrard back to Williams.
That was a beautifully placed ball right in the seam.
Later in the drive, it is Garrard to Matt Jones, and Jones gets in. Jaguars down 17-14. Same score in the fourth now. The Jags back at it. Garrard to Jones. Makes a nice move here. Picks up 20 yards. And set up a Josh Scobie field goal. Tied the game at 17. Cleveland comes back in the very next series. Anderson to Cindric Steptoe. And Steptoe stepping his way down to the 1 yard line.
Yeah, I love the effort, but when you get down to inside that 5, you better score.
53 yards there. Jags did a good job, kept him out. To Phil Dawson knocked in the field goal, but these are the mistakes that will kill a good football team. Brian Witherspoon can't hold on to the rock, and Joshua Cribbs recovers.
Yeah, big play right here. Fumbling the football, you have a chance to go on the field, hopefully for the game-winning score. You turn the ball over, not ideal.
Bo Bell doing a great job of getting his big mitten there and knocking the ball loose. 27 seconds left. Garrard steps up, and he hits Matt Jones. Remember, Jones used to play quarterback, so he knows he's got to get out of bounds.
Oh, great effort by Matt Jones.
All right, 9 seconds left. It's a 2nd and 10 for the Jags. The Browns 26. Garrard going for the big fella, Jones. Can't squeeze it. Sorensen and McDonald break up the play. And it's a home game, so there's still 1 second left on the clock. And Gerard goes back to the big guy Jones at 6'6", but it's too high. So the Cleveland Browns going to Jacksonville, and they come up with a huge victory, 23-17. So the Jaguars fall to 3-4. Just when we think we have this team figured out, we don't. Right. Tennessee Titans on top, 7-0.
Well, Tennessee, we were asking whether they were for real. Could they beat a team with a winning record? They are for real. They're a team that can play from behind. They can run the football. They threw the ball extremely well tonight with Kerry Collins. So they passed that test. That's a team that you have to look out for. They now own that division.
And what about the Indianapolis Colts? Quickly, how do they get their mojo back?
Go back and keep working. They did some good things tonight. Build on that tonight.
All right. And don't sleep on the Houston Texans, too, because they started out 0-4, but they've won 3 games in a row. So the Texans are at least back in the conversation. Still to come on NFL GameDay Final. The Atlanta Falcons coming off a bye, and the Falcons, could they go into Philadelphia and get their 5th victory of the year? Highlights are coming up after the break.
Heward, pump faking. Now he looks to the middle. He's got time to throw. Corner pattern. Tony Gonzalez has now tied for the all-time NFL touchdown receiving mark for a tight end. They play fake, throw it right side for Gonzalez, and the catch is made. It's a catch for Canton as Tony Gonzalez, his 63rd career touchdown catch, the most by any tight end in National Football League history.
Game-winning home scores. Great moments on NASN.
Now all of a sudden the offense has started to kick in as well. High fly ball, socked to left. This one very deep. Gone! A 3-run homer. And it's back to being a mausoleum here at Fenway Park. That has put this ball game out of reach. 8-1 Tampa Bay. Rocco Baldelli, the kid from nearby Rhode Island, which has to be an absolute thrill for him, as a young man saw many games at Fenway Park. As a little leaguer, made a bunch of trips here. How about this trip around the bases?
You know, Batman, everything's looking up for the Philadelphia sports these days.
Even the 76ers?
Maybe. The season's about to begin.
What about the Flyers?
Well, the Eagles.
You didn't know I knew about that, the Flyers.
Yeah,
so, you know, I was a hockey man, too, huh?
Matt Ryan grew up just out of the Philly area, sort of a homecoming for him. Coming back to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles coming off of a bye week. Scoreless second quarter. Roddy White, is he running his way to the Pro Bowl?
You know, he's having his best year ever.
Yes.
8 catches today.
For 113 yards and 2 scores. So Atlanta's up 7-0, drawing forced blood. It's 10-7 Philadelphia in the third quarter. Kevin Curtis, his first game of the year. He's been out after sports hernia surgery. Say that 10 times fast. Back in August. 25-yard gain. Then Brian Westbrook is back from his ribs and ankle, looking no worse the wear.
When this team is healthy, look out. They are talented.
His first 100-yard rushing game of the season on the day. 17-7, third quarter. It's White going up for it. Lito Shepherd picks it.
It's a bad throw by the quarterback.
And the flag is on White. So fourth quarter, 2 Eagles possessions later. In the plus side of the field, McNabb to L.J. Smith, leveled by Lawyer Malloy, and that's a flag.
Why is that a flag? He led with the shoulder, and he just knocked him out.
It's called defenseless receiver.
For all he knows, Smith has the ball.
Does he have on equipment?
McNabb, the shovel pass to Westbrook, no gain. Would you believe it? McNabb comes up short on, they've had short distance issues on the goal line all season, so Andy Reid's got to kick a field goal, 20-7. 5:15 left in the game. Ryan to Jarius Norwood. 20-yard gain down to the Philly 20. Nice play by Norwood.
This guy's good out of the backfield. He returns kicks. He does a little bit of everything.
They call that quality concentration. 6 plays later, after the Falcons converted on a 4th and 5, it's White again for the score in the back of the end zone.
Perfect throw, nice and high in the back of the end zone.
20-14, and now the Eagles are going 3 and out and forced to punt. Atlanta can get the ball back now, and then you have a chance to win.
Right.
And it's called a muffed punt by Adam Jennings. Mike Smith would love to challenge this, except he's out of timeouts. He used all the timeouts to try and get the ball back.
Hold the flag.
Going for a biscuit.
So he can't throw the flag, and this is not a muffed punt. It looks like Jennings never touched it.
When does he touch it?
He did.
Huh?
Well,
Mike says he didn't touch it.
Well, the problem is that he's out of timeouts. He can't even challenge.
You think that kid went to the sideline and told him that he touched it?
So the Eagles get the ball back.
Please,
Instead of Atlanta getting the ball back with a chance to win it, the Eagles get the ball and then seal it with a Westbrook 39-yard scamper. And the Eagles are still undefeated in the Andy Reid era, coming off of a bye week. Andy Reid, a perfect 10-0 off of the bye week, and he's the 17th coach in NFL history now with 100 wins in his first stint as a head coach. The Eagles, the 7th franchise in NFL history with 500 wins now, and Donovan McNabb becomes the 8th quarterback in NFL history to rush for 3,000 career yards. And after the game, our Kara Henderson intercepted McNabb.
You guys started off a little bit slow, then you got poked in the eye. You're running for first downs, and you scored 20 points from that point on unanswered. What clicked in for this offense?
Well, I don't know. Maybe when I got poked in the eye, I was able to see things a little bit better. But you know what? I think what we were able to do was kind of open our offense a little bit more. In screen game, we got Kevin involved a little bit, Deshaun, get LJ involved early, which was very big for us. When you do things like that and get a rhythm, you know, you get a chance to put points on the board.
There's no way that Brian Westbrook could be 100% with broken ribs, but he played so well. How different is this offense to run with him in the mix?
Well, you know what? We've shown what we can do with Brian out, with Buck running the ball. But, you know, it's another added dimension when you have a guy like Brian back there, obviously in the run game and pass game. It's a comfort level, so to speak, I guess. And what we're able to do is open up our offense and run our plays. And when you got a guy like Brian where, you know, either you can check it down to him or he opens up so many opportunities for other guys as well. And for our offense, it really showed today. None of us are really fully healthy. But that's what NFL football is all about. You got to battle through some injuries and keep your head up and move forward.
Well, and yet another Coach 'em Up presented by Verizon Wireless. I put the question to you that Kara just put to McNabb, Steve.
Yeah. How nice is it to have Brian Westbrook back? Pass protection is the most difficult thing for a running back. My guy's getting taken by my offensive center. Well, I'm going to take the looper. Take a look at Croy Bierman right here. Right here. Brian Westbrook pass protects as well as any back in the National Football League because he's willing. Take a look on the run now, 95 week. He gets up in the hole, and Lawyer Malloy is going to make the tackle. I'm going to drop my shoulder pad and break this tackle. I'll set up my block, dip inside here, and let Deshaun Jackson tie up this corner just enough for me to dip outside and score a 16-yard touchdown. How about in the passing game? This is two jet scat halfback option. I'm going to go one-on-one against Keith Brooking here. I can sit down if it's zone. That's my first choice. Or I can take a right, or I can take a left. I'm going to run it off of this guy. You can't cover me. Give me the ball, Donovan. I'm going to go make a first down. They trust this guy as a pass protector, a runner, or a pass receiver. He's a versatile guy, and that's a Coach 'em Up by Verizon Wireless.
You love it when he gets a sponsor.
Verizon Wireless.
You nailed it. You nailed it. The Eagles are 4-3. They're heading to the Seattle Seahawks next week, and they keep pace with Dallas, Washington, and the Giants, which all won on Sunday. So I guess we can still say the NFC East is the best division in football.
They are. It is. It is.
And how do the Eagles play in this mix? Do you think that they have a chance to win this division? They're 4-3, 2 games behind the Giants, who they haven't played yet.
No, I think the Giants are the best team in this division, then Washington Redskins, then the Eagles, then the Cowboys. Honestly, I think the Cowboys are at the bottom of the barrel right now.
But you think Philly can jump in there and make
they can.
Push, right? This is when they have Kevin Curtis and Westbrook and all of their weapons healthy, they are a dangerous team. They can beat anybody. And if they haven't played the Giants, look out. It's going to get close.
Atlanta 4-3 in that NFC South. They're at the Raiders next week, also a 2-5 team. So the Dallas Cowboys came up with the win that they needed. We will return to Dallas for more on that win in Big D for Dallas.
Remember the Titans? Tennessee has returned to the big stage this year, but a rested Packers team comes to town after a week off. Then the Cowboys look to steady their season as the defending champs get primed and ready in New York. It may not be the same without Tom Brady, but it's always a contest when the Colts and Patriots match up. Coverage kicks off with the Countdown Crew. Spend your Sunday with live NFL on NASN.
Edwards takes off. Look at his speed. And he does